Hey y'all, Taylor by Debbie here. This week I'm going to show you how you can take mostly items from the Dollar Tree and make an adorable cat. That's right, a cat. We're going to be using some of the bristles from a broom that I got at the Dollar Tree. We're going to be using one of these Styrofoam jumbo craft hearts that I got at the Dollar Tree. One of these pink hearts from the Dollar Tree. A pair of the fuzzy socks from the Dollar Tree. Some of the push pins from the Dollar Tree, pom-poms that I got from the Dollar Tree, and the bling ribbon and a heart ribbon that's Valentine from the Dollar Tree, and then 2 pieces of felt. Now Dollar Tree does have felt, but they didn't have the colors that I needed, so I did pick up a piece of black and pink felt, and this came from Hobby Lobby, and they're 39 cents a piece. So you can buy felt anywhere to coordinate and match with your cat. All right, the first thing we're going to do is take our heart out of the package. And then we're going to take one of our socks, and we want to stretch this over the heart. And to do that, you may need to cut the very edge off because it's kind of tight right there at that very top. So I'm going to get a pair of scissors, and we're just going to cut this top part straight across. And once you cut these, they are going to shed a little bit, but it's okay. So we're just going to cut that off, and you see how it's shedding. But now we can stretch that bigger, and we're going to take it and stretch it over the entire heart, and you want to pull it tight. Pull it over. Then you want to twist this right here and bring it down in the back. All right, the next thing we're going to use, and I didn't mention this in my supply list, but I bought these at Walmart. There's some T-pins, and you can use U-pins, or you could use a straight pin if it has a flat head on it. And you just want to take some of these and go in at an angle and secure this sock down. It's going to hold better than just hot glue alone. So you're just going to stick a few of these down in here to hold this part of the sock. And I'm going to go in this direction on this last one. There you go. So now we have, and you want to make sure it did not poke through the front because you don't want any sharp places. See how tightly that has covered our heart? It just makes it so pretty, and it's so easy to cover. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the other sock, and we're going to cut it straight across right here in front of the heel. Just going to cut that straight across, and you can put that aside to use for another craft. And then we're going to come on this side, and we're going to cut straight up. And what this is, it's going to be our tail. Like I said, when you cut these socks, they will shed. So go ahead and kind of shake off all that stuff. And this particular sock looks the same on front, you know, the inside out and the back side. So we don't really have to worry about which side we're going to glue. But I'm just going to take a bead of hot glue and come down one edge and fold that over. And then we're going to also put some glue on the end. And then we're going to take this and we're going to fold it over and tap it down. Then we want to let that dry completely before we turn it right side out. Okay. I'm going to use my little vacuum to get up all this stuff. I ordered this from Amazon. I will drop a link in the comments in case you want to order one too. They're wonderful when you're doing crafts like this. Okay, so we're just going to leave that there. Now we're going to take this, our little cat, and the way the cat is going to sit is going to be like this on one of the sides. So the next thing we want to do is to cut out some ears. And I want to cut out 2 identical ears, so I'm going to fold over this corner of the felt, and I'm going to just cut the shape of a cat ear. It's kind of a triangle shape. And you can just freeform cut this. So now I've got 2 that are the same size. And what I want to do with the pink is I want to cut 2 that are smaller than these. So I'm going to hold this beside it. So I can go just a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower. So I'm just going to cut another triangle, doubled over just like we did with the black. So they'll be similar in size. Okay, and it looks like it cut it a little bit wonky, but that's okay. We'll just come here and cut that. And then we can put them together and even them up. Just put them side by side here, and I'm just going to cut straight down, holding them together. And the same thing on this side. Just evening up that side that's a little bit longer. Cut off the bottom. Then I'm going to lay it on here. It looks like it's still a little long, so I will cut straight across the bottom of it, so that this will be shorter and inside of the black. Just like that. And right here, I want to kind of cut that more in a point instead of a crooked. There we go. And they do not have to be 100% exact, y'all. But I do want to even that up just a tad too. So I've got my 2 ears made. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is glue the pink inside. Now, where did my other piece of pink go? I must have, there it is. Dragged it right off my table. We're going to put just a little bit of glue on the back side of these pink pieces. Thin layer so it won't seep out, because hot glue on black felt will show. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to turn it over, lining up the bottom here, okay? And then we're going to take, I'm going to just cut straight across right here, kind of even that up a little bit. Then we're going to take this and glue it to the back of our heart. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just putting a very light layer of glue, kind of tapping it down and spreading it out as I go. And we're going to turn that over, line up the bottom, press it down. So now we have our 2 ears. Now this should be ready to turn, and I like to use a wood dowel, and you can buy wood dowels at the Dollar Tree. Dollar General has them, just in case we need it, but y'all, it doesn't look like we're going to need it except to poke, and do it very carefully. You don't want to make a hole. We're going to poke through, and you can stuff the tail if you want to, but it looks full enough for my liking, so I'm not even going to stuff it, y'all. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this a clean edge. Cut a clean edge off right there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here in the top to seal this edge. Okay, and you can use a wood dowel to kind of push it down, or use finger protectors. And then after I've glued it, I want to just trim off any little pieces, making sure I don't cut all the way down through that hot glue, but that's going to make that a nice clean edge for your tail. Now that I know these are where I want them to be, I am going to lift these up and put a little bit of hot glue on the pin, and then push it back down to help secure these where they will not be easily pulled out by anyone. So we'll just put some hot glue on it, and then we're just pushing them back in. Putting hot glue on the pin itself, and then I'm just pushing it back down through the sock. Be careful because it's hot. And then we have one more right over here. Just going to lift it up. I'm going to take that one out. And put a little bit of glue on this pin, and then I'm going to take the T edges of that and just push it down. Okay, going to have glue strings, glue, kind of niblets of glue or drops of glue there, but it is on the back side and it's not going to show, so I don't worry too much about that. Okay, now we want the cat to be sitting kind of like this. So for the tail, you're going to have it coming out, because this is going to be the head, this is going to be the body, and then your tail you want coming out right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it forward, because this is the front of my cat, and then I'm going to take one of these pins. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue, and you can do this way if you would like as well. Instead of putting them in and then pulling them back out and gluing it, but I wanted to make sure the placement was where I wanted it first. So I'm going to put 2 pins. I'm going to stick one here and push it in all the way, and then I'm going to put another one right over here on the other side of the bottom of the tail. And again, this is on the back side that I'm putting the pins, and when you push them in, you can hardly even see that they are there. They blend in with the fuzzy socks. Okay, we're just going to push that down until it's all the way in there. Push them way down. Okay, just like that. And then your tail is going to be like so, and that's going to be nice and secure. All right, for the ears, we're going to come behind, right back here, and we are just going to glue those on. So I'm going to put a bead of glue across the bottom of the ear, gluing from the back side. I'm going to stick it on, and then while that glue is still wet, I'm going to take at least 1 U-pin on each end and stick it down in there. Okay. Stick it right through, and you want to do it at an angle so that the pin does not come out on the front side. And that one you can see from the front, so I want to scoot it over to where you cannot see the edge of the pin from the front of my cat. There we go. Now you won't be able to see it from the front. Isn't that cute, y'all? It's already looking like a little cat. Then we're going to put a bead of glue on the second ear. Just going to hold it up, kind of see how I want it to be, tap it down, and then I'm going to stick 2 of the the T pins. These are not U pins, these are T pins. I'm going to stick 2 of them through, making sure I put them over far enough so that the little pin won't be visible from the front. And you're going to go in at an angle. Okay. Oh, that one's kind of dull. Sometimes you have to push it just a little bit. Okay. Stick it in at an angle so the pin will not come through to the front of the heart. Just like so. Now we got our cat's ears on there, y'all. How cute. Now the pom-poms are the next thing we're going to need. And what they are going to be is his little cheeks that kind of make up his face. So these we're just going to hot glue down. And you don't want to put a ton of glue because it'll seep out and get on the black sock, and you'll be able to see it from the front. So we're just going to leave a little bit of room up there for his eyes. And then we're going to mash one at a time these down. Okay, and then we're going to do another one. Just put some glue on the pom-pom itself. And then we're going to stick it right up next to the one that we already have down on there. Just like so. Okay, you want them close together. Now look how cute. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is take one of these little heart picks, just break it off like that, and then cut this part off. Let me get my little jewelry snippers. Now, if you have some other type of hearts that you could use, you can do that as well. I like to use these little tiny jewelry snippers to snip off stuff like that. Now, if you want to, you can take and paint over the stick right there. I'm going to take my sander and sand it off level. And then I am going to take my ballet slipper pink and just dab a little bit of that on there to kind of cover up. That made it even. Now, if you have some other little wood hearts, they have other little wood hearts at Dollar Tree that you can try that may already be painted where you don't have to add paint. So I'm just going to paint this real quick. It's going to make it a little bit lighter pink, which I think is going to match our felt on the ears better as well. It's not such a bright pink. Now we're just going to dry that paint. And I will put my heat tool in the comments below. I ordered this from Amazon and I love it. It's not a hair dryer, it's a little heat tool that's used for crafting. And the silicone mat as well, because you can just wipe these mats off. All right, so now our heart looks good and solid. I'm gonna take a baby wipe and just see, I'll show you how easy it is to just wipe that paint up. Super, super easy just to wipe that up. So these silicone mats are great for crafting. And I will drop a link for the mat in the comments below as well in case you'd like to get one. All right, now we're gonna take this and we're gonna glue it on just using some hot glue. I'm gonna focus most of the glue in the center of the heart. And when I press it down, it's going to kind of spread out. And we're just gonna hold that down right here until it's dry. Now, how cute is that, y'all? Look at that. That is adorable. Then the next step is to apply the eyes, and I'm just using these little push pins in a pearl finish. And what we're going to do is just take a little bit of glue, and I'm going to dry fit the eye. So now all we're going to do is, now that we've kind of dry fit them and we know where the eyes, we want our eyes to go, we're just going to take a little bit of hot glue, put it on the bottom of the pin, and then we're going to stick it back down in where we want it and push it down. And that's going to keep those from popping back off, okay? How stinking cute, y'all. I like to put the eyes closer together rather than farther apart, because when you put them farther apart, they kind of look creepy to me. And close together, I think they look cute. Okay, so we're just putting some glue on that. And then we're going to stick this eyeball right in there. That is just adorable. Now, I want my cat to have a little tongue. So I'm going to take some more of the pink felt. And we're just going to cut out a little rounded rectangle piece. I'm just going to cut out a rectangle first, kind of like that. And then I'm just going to round off one side of it. Okay, and that's going to be the tongue. And I'm just going to glue it. And that looks a little long, so I'm going to cut that off straight across. And then I'm just going to glue it down, kind of pushing it, the top of it up in there. So I'm gonna, on the top, I'm gonna kind of make it the shape that the round pieces are so that I can fit it right up in there like that. How cute, y'all. This is so cute. And then we're just gonna put a little bit of glue on the back. Again, light touch with the glue. You don't want a big glob because then it'll seep out onto your black fabric, and hot glue on black fabric shows. Okay, so we're going to stick it up in there and push it down. Y'all, this is so cute. Okay, now for his collar, I thought this red Valentine ribbon might be pretty. Let's see. If we don't like it, we can change it to something else. All right, find the end of it. And then you can just wrap that around his neck. Like so. I think I might like the pink better, so I'm gonna go get the pink. Oh yeah, that's pretty. We're just going to take that, bring it around to the back, let it overlap a little bit. And then I'm going to take one of these T-pins and I'm going to put a little glue on it, and we're going to push it in there just a tad to hold it. And then I'm going to put hot glue on the stem of the T-pin. And again, I got these T-pins at Walmart in the floral section. And we're going to push it down. And y'all, this is thick enough that that T-pin is not going to go through to the front. So we can just put it on there like that. Isn't that adorable, y'all? And look how easy and fast it was to make. And then you can just sit this on your tiered tray, on a shelf. I sure hope y'all give this a try. And wait a minute, y'all, I'm forgetting the bling bling. Hold up. Okay, I'm gonna cut just one thing of it, but I need to get the length. We're gonna put this in the middle. Let's pull this around. We're gonna cut it just a little extra. And I got this at the Dollar Tree. It's just called diamond wrap. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cut just one line of the bling bling, because I wanna put this in the center of the pink collar. So we're just gonna cut right straight down. It's got little threads between the rows where you can just cut however many of these rows that you want. Get that off of there. So you're just gonna cut straight down. In between the rows. And then you can save this 2 row, you know, to make another one. You could cut it again on the 2 and make it 3 individual strands. Now you may be able to find the bling diamond wrap at Hobby Lobby or Joann's or somewhere like that. It's already in a single strand, but at the Dollar Tree it's usually multiple rows. But see how easy it is to cut that and make it just one strand. And then we're going to just take this and we're going to put it right there in the center to kind of make him have a blingy collar. And all I'm going to do is just tack this down with glue. I'm going to cover up that pin right here. I'm going to tack that first piece down right over that T-pin. And then I'm going to come around to the center in the front. Find out about where the center is. And I'm just going to fold it back. I'm going to apply a little bit of glue just on the little blingy thingies right here. And then I'm carefully going to lay that down right in the center of where I want it to go. And that's going to hold it in place. And then I'll come around to the back and we'll finish gluing it down back here. Okay. Now, if you didn't want to use the T-pins, you could just use hot glue for all these things. If you prefer just to hot glue it down, like if it's going to be for children are going to play with it, you could, you know, try just hot gluing it down. But to cover up these pins, what I'd like to do is just take some strips of felt and we're going to cover over those pins. So I just need to measure where the pins are. I'm going to kind of make this rounded so it fits on there better. Just going to take that and we're going to hot glue that on top of where those pins are, just to kind of disguise that part. I like everything that I make to look finished on the front and the back. And I'm being careful not to get too close to the edge, because that felt, it'll seep out and you'll be able to see the hot glue on the black felt. So I'm just going to push that down back here and see how that just kind of disguises where those pins are, and that will also help secure them and keep them from being able to pull out. And then we're going to do the same thing right here and on the tail. So I'm just cutting a piece of felt out of this black felt that we have, and we're going to just glue it down back here. I'm going to round off each side, just like so. And then we're just going to glue it down right over those pins, just on the back there. Okay. Apply some glue. And then we're going to start at that pin and come over here to this side and just apply that right there on the back. You won't even be able to see it from the front, y'all. But that's just going to make it look neater, you know, if someone looks at the back. Okay, then the only other place we need to cover is right here on the tail. So we're going to cut just a small piece of felt to glue right across here. And I'm going to round it off again because it just looks better if you kind of round off the edge. We're just going to stick that right here, and that's on the back of the tail. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here. And then I'm going to apply my piece of felt just to cover that up. Okay. I'll trim this edge where a little bit of glue seeped out, just so you won't see that glue. Okay, then the next thing that I did was I just took a Sharpie marker and I drew one line down the tongue, and then I'd put a little kind of an ovally diamond shape, I guess is the best way to describe it, dot on each eye to make it look more like cat eyes. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to take our broom, and I bought this at the Dollar Tree. We're just going to take 3 pieces and we're going to cut it off with some scissors. And then it kind of has this end on it that's a different color and a little bit furry almost. So we're just going to cut those off and throw those away. And then we're going to take what's left and just cut it in half. And these are going to be our whiskers for the little cat. Okay, I like to dry fit them first. So I'm just going to kind of put them in behind the pom-poms. Mine happen to be gray, but you can buy whatever color broom, you know, or if you have an old broom at your house, you can use them. These are plastic bristles, and they work really well to use as whiskers for animals. Again, I just like to dry fit first to see how they're going to look. And I think that's good. See how cute that is? All right, so then I'm going to take them out one at a time and just put a little bit of hot glue, and it's not going to take much, y'all, just a little tiny bit. And I think that's even a little too much, so I'm going to dab it off. And then I'm going to stick that whisker down in there with that hot glue on it. You don't want much glue, because if you put a lot of glue on plastic, it's going to melt, and then you won't be able to stick it up in there. So just a little bit of glue, and then stick it right up in there. You have just a few seconds to kind of move it how you want it to be. See, that one didn't go in very well. It kind of bent. Let me do that one again. We'll just put a little drop of glue on it. Okay, we're going to lift up that pom-pom and just kind of stick it right up under there. There we go. Little dot of glue. Just kind of lift up the edge of the pom-pom and stick it right up under there. Press that down, and that side's done and secure now. And we're going to do these. Little dot of glue. Whoa, I didn't want to get the glue string on my cat here, so let me pull that off. Lift that up, stick it right up under there. Okay. And if they're too long on one side, you can always trim it. Just gonna stick that in there like that and press it down. Okay. And the last one. Little glue strings, y'all. Okay, we're going to stick those up under there. Now, I think that's just the perfect finishing touch. And that one again, since you got to put them in there quickly, because if you take too long, the glue's going to set up and cool off and it won't stick well. So I do recommend you tug on these just a little to make sure, see, like that one? You want to tug on them just a little bit to make sure you have enough glue and that they are going to stay. There we go. And that one's good. That one, and that one's good. And here you could trim them if you wanted to. It looks like this one's just a little bit longer than the others. So I'm just going to trim the tip of that one off. But here we have our adorable Styrofoam heart cat that we made mainly using Dollar Tree items, except for the felt, y'all. Everything else I got on this came from the Dollar Tree. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell so you'll never miss out when I put out new videos. And drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think of this craft and if you're going to give it a try. Again, I appreciate you watching. Until next week. Bye, y'all.